Good afternoon, everyone. We have been swamped the last couple of days, and it is a typical Fed week, right? We have the Fed tomorrow, and so we have this. We usually do. We have this little run up into the Fed. This Fed meeting could be really interesting in that everyone is anticipating a rate cut. Everyone is expecting the market to run. So the question is, we might get that rate cut and we might get the market to run. Then again, it might be that the market's running up as it usually does in front of the Fed in anticipation of the news and very well might sell off on the news. If it does, Swing Machine is going to catch it and our program is going to catch it. We have been running all week since Sunday night and we're underwater a little bit. Not much. What is all total? We're about 12, 1300 bucks for the week. Our beginning balance for the week was 40,000. Kept our profits from last week, and so we're at 40, and we are suffering a weekly drawdown of whatever it is, right? Whatever that difference is, 38, yeah, about 12, $1,300. So no big deal. I haven't done any intervention. Program's been running day and night all the way through. We're going to let it continue to run, and we'll see how we do. I should put a little note down at the bottom. Put a little note in here on a couple of things. But again, we punch up like this periodically. This is a very busy time of the year for us, so don't forget to reach out if you get any questions. So we're going to put a little note in here. We can say any number of things, but be sure to visit our website to learn more. Right? You always website to learn more, and you're always welcome to call. Hopefully, you'll look at the website though first, if you don't mind, so we can make more out of your questions if and when you do call. And then over here, we'll just put in where our beginning balance will. Let me make this a little bit smaller so I can fit it in here. The weekly beginning balance. We started on Sunday night. Beginning balance was 40,000. 40,000. That's where it was, and that's where it is now. Running SMC beta strategy around pivot information, and we continue to run it. Last week turned out pretty well, but we did a little intervention. I haven't intervened at all. I haven't made one decision to put the trade in. I haven't made one decision to take it out. And I'm going to try not to. It's tempting here to book in that profit, but I'm going to choose not to. If I do, I'll let you know. Otherwise, we're going to let you watch, and you can see. Let's take a look at what Swing Machine has done here today. Let's see, it's 155. So this is a little interesting. The VIX 5 minute just went long at 155. That's interesting. ES goes long at 1230. A little bit at odds with each other there, right? 762. The NQ goes long at 505 this morning. So that's a big fat trade. Then 1235. And you can see gold and silver getting hit. Gold and silver acting as though they're not going to increase interest rates. Maybe. I don't think I'd read too much into that. I got to believe that they're going to cut 25 basis points, and it's absurd. It is absurd that they're cutting interest rates. Should be increasing interest rates. There's going to be a comeuppance on it, but you know what? I'm not the guy with the Princeton degrees, and I'm not on the Federal Reserve, and they are. But you know, it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. So we're going to continue to just trade the money flow. Let me put a little moniker up there in the corner that this is a live session in the date. I should have done that up here. So this is a live view, and today is October. I can't believe it's October 28th, and the poor people of Jamaica are absolutely going to get hit with that. I hate to see anyone get hit, least of all Jamaica. But man, thank God it didn't come in here into Florida. Holy smokes, that thing is just brutal. There we go. So, any questions for us? Let us know. We'll let you watch and just sing out. All right, we'll be here. We'll let you watch. Hey, Frederick. Hey, how are you? But he writes, and I know you are Frederick. Frederick is one of our annual members. Hey, Don. Yeah, agree. Market at all-time high. All A companies making deals with each other. Yeah, they are. It's a big ass Ponzi scheme, right? They're buying each other. I mean, it's classic Ponzi stuff. It happened also in the dot com. They were but in everyone expect rate cut because the market is bad. Well, I don't think they're going so far as to say that the market is bad, but they're trying to say that the economy is bad and or going to get worse, so therefore we better, cut interest rates. Ah, it's a stretch. Nobody wants this bitch to break on their watch, right? And what I mean by that is there is something called animal spirits here in the States. There is something called the wealth effect. And for the most part, folks who are invested, the working group, folks in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, they invest and they buy the market. And there is a wealth effect to that. As traders, we trade in and out, out and in, and it's, we're going to go wherever it goes. But for the vast majority, they're passive. In fact, there's numbers on this too, by the way. And but they're passive investors. So the powers to be, particularly the politicos and even the banks and everything, is that if we get a big break in the market, if this wave breaks and gets exposed, this most recent, and when I say recent, I'm talking like the last 15 to 20 years, so it's not that recent, investor is going to yank their money out. And if they do that out of this market, then the wealth effect is going to go, it's just going to blow away. It's just going to blow away. And then the economy is going to get hit with all kinds of stuff. They're over leveraged, not just in the market, they're over leveraged in their homes, their VRBOs, their cars, their apartments. They're just extremely over leveraged, and they're going to unleverage to survive. And then the wealth effect, gets extinguished, and then next thing you know, we got, the economy. It'll be which came first, the economy troubles or the market troubles, or which, it won't much matter, but it'll most certainly have an impact, and it'll be very very difficult to put the bitch back together again. It's going to be, it isn't 1999 or 2000. It isn't even COVID. And the demographics is such here in the states, so it really could be an absolutely watershed event, and I think it's inevitable, but should not we see some danger in the skew? Yeah, so let's go look at that. I do think yeah, so let's look. Let's put this on a daily basis. Let's put the VIX in here on a daily, and let's put the ES on a daily. So this is danger. This is screaming danger here. I mean, we have on the daily, the market is in euphoria, right? So it's not going to be there. I can, virtually promise everybody to a certain certainty of about 95% that in 20 days we will not be in euphoria. Will we be at 6,700 or lower? I mean, even at 60, 700. I would say so, but let's put the Nasdaq also in here because these are the two monsters, and they're also in euphoria. Now there's divergence here in that on a daily, the VIX should be in panic sell. It isn't. It isn't. And so we have divergence, and this is the second time it's done this. So if you go to your charts, Frederick, my interpretation, without even looking at a chart, is that this is what? This is a false high. A false high. It's not going to stay here. It isn't, in my view. We'll see. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be tomorrow, but we're not. But we're not talking months. We're just talking a matter of days here. That it's not going to stay here. Now let's go look at the skew. So let's add a blank row, and let's look at the skew. And skew is $ SKEW.X, and we're going to put the skew on a daily, and there it is. So the skew is trending up. It would be better. It's not a great timing tool. It would be better to have, if you're bearish or thinking, we're going to have a real sharp correction. I would really like to see that skew. What I'd really like to see is a skew also in euphoria, and I'd love to see the VIX in panic. That dynamic. We don't have it. We got a little divergence, but we still have a high skew. So for those folks that are maybe Frederick knows this, but it might be passing by later, how is it what is a normal skew? And the skew is referring to the skew of the SPX. What is a normal skew? A normal skew is 120 to 130. That's normal. We're at 148. That's abnormal. So that means that you would expect that with the market in euphoria, that the skew would be below 120, be like at 115, 110. But it isn't. And what drives the skew high like this is as we sit up here with this, it's a market, in my view, it's a market hurricane that's sitting offshore, and it's spinning and spinning, and the big money, they are hunkering down. They are selling on their positions. They're selling calls to the speculators. They're taking that money and they're buying puts. And when they do that on the S&P, they push the skew high or higher, right, out of the normal range. So that tells us that they are defensive up here when you wouldn't think so. What I'd love to see now, 150, 152, 153 is a very high skew, but it isn't the highest we've ever seen. Not that long ago, I'd have to go back to the charts, which I won't change this for you now. We had a skew go as high as, I want to say 182, really high. Wasn't there very long. And that just, and it wasn't there very long at all, like a couple of days, and then boom, and we had a really sharp decline. So they are getting defensive, and but they're taking their time on it. Let me go look at our program here too, by the way, because I'm really inclined to grab this profit here if you don't mind. Frederick, I think you're going to like this program too. We're going to be working on it this weekend to get the beta version out. Yeah, we're going to push up. We're going to take this profit, if you don't mind. We're going to grab it and we're going to reactivate the strategy, but we're going to take that. We definitely and then see if we can catch it. But everyone's waiting, and what happened? None of the bears want to get in front of the Fed. They never do, and we got them tomorrow. So historically, we run up on Monday, we run up a little bit on Tuesday, then we get a little bit of profit taking, and then it's like a back and forth Wednesday. Then we get the Fed, and a lot of times the first move is the wrong move, and then normally they'll rush it up, right? But boy, um, it is very unusual for the Fed to be cutting rates. Do it. Should not we see some danger in this? Do it. I'm not sure what I said that you were saying do it to. I didn't see that. You have to let me know. Um, oh, yeah, taking the profit. Yeah, we were up at the R2. So we've been running all week, Frederick, since Sunday night, and we're down less than a point, and that's just totally fine. And I didn't intervene, round the clock. We were busy doing a lot of other things. I think you're going to really like this program, Frederick. It is going to be working off of all the pivots. We're going to try to build in some optionality there, and then we want to get that into everyone's hands. Hopefully by Sunday night is the plan, and I'll get it to you. Go slow with it. We'll make a video on it, and then we want to get it in everyone's hands, and then we want to begin to use it as a filtering tool for other things, including maybe Swing Machine. I really like what it's doing, and we're running it on custom Ringo, and it looks really, really nice. Um, but that's what we see with the skew. So I can't. There's no way that I can get super bullish when we're up here now. I know where all the retail crowd is, but um, I to get super bearish, I would rather have seen the VIX in panic, and I'd rather see the skew in euphoria. That's a very unique condition. It happens. It still could happen, but it's unique. It isn't something that, as you know, crops up every month or even every few months. It takes a lot to do that. But my interpretation is markets overdone. VIX is telling us, don't trust this move up here. Don't trust the move. And skew, same thing. They're getting defensive here, but the retail crowd isn't seeing that, isn't feeling that. But that's what we see. That makes sense. So I mean, if someone wanted to take a flyer on something, a flyer, what do I mean by that? I'd probably look for this is a flyer type trade. So you could do it with a SPY, you do it with the QQQs, is maybe get some put options in this run up to the Fed, either, now or a little bit later today, and maybe have them expire, buy some cheap ones that expire for like Monday or Tuesday, get some daily options. A person could do that. Um, and you could certainly do it out, further, and if it goes against, or you could do call spreads, something like that. But with futures, I wouldn't come in with a position trade here, a position trade and try to bet against the Fed. mm, with futures. We're going to let the machine trade it, but I wouldn't do. And that's what happens. It's one of the reasons the market does this. Really remarkable. I mean, look at the Nasdaq. I mean, 124 days, $110,000, one contract, and they got thousands of these things. Is this credible, Frederick? Incredible. It is. It's just, um, and I do agree that the AI companies, that it is just one big ass bubble. Um, we can put this on a well, skew, we can't really put it on a 5 minute. So I'm just going to delete that for now. But it is. The whole thing's a bubble. We got bubbles on top of bubbles. But you can make money in bubbles, and you can also, lose everything if you're not aware and play it defensively, and you want to. I think gold underneath 4,000 here. I think silver down here 47. I don't think silver's going below 45. I don't think gold's going. I don't know. It could go to 37.50, something like that. But I'm not real bearish, either of the metals. And the concern that's going to happen here, I think, but we'll see. If the Fed comes in and cuts interest rates, and they juice this market again, and we just keep doing this, they do run the risk of, creating some inflation again. We already have inflation. We still have it. And inflation is the hardest on the people who can least afford it, which is the poorest people and don't have assets, don't have any trading skill, don't have any trading capital, and they don't like it, and they shouldn't like it. And then the rich get richer and richer, and the extreme rich get even more and more extreme, get a bigger wealth gap. Then you get more divisiveness, you get more social unrest. Of course, they take it out on various pet issues, not maybe market related, but they get more sympathy from the public, and then things can go kittywampus. So it's very, very interesting times, Frederick, right? Isn't it? It really is. It really is. Um, Very, very reminiscent to me. The whole thing, the timing, the whole bubble thing to 1999 to 2000. It's almost an for me, it's almost an out of body experience. I mean, I lived and breathed that, and I knew it was what was happening, and I don't have the capacity, and maybe we should, overlay a chart on this, like the Nasdaq over this one. But God, it feels so much the same, and I hate to say this, they ran it up in 1999. We had a little correction in the fall, and then August actually, and then they ran it up into the end of the year. It was Y2K, and then they ran it up even January, February, and then in early March, it started to sell, and no one believed it. It just no one did. It was just like, oh, it's just a pullback. It wasn't dramatic. There wasn't a big blow off. There wasn't. It just started to pull back, and then it just kept pulling back, pulling back, pulling back, and it was like before a tsunami hit in Thailand. The money just started flowing out and just never stopped. For 9 months, it just flowed out. A couple of little waves in, and I think that could happen here. I think it could. It's something. I don't think Besant understands it. Trump's Besant, and there might be some things, but I don't think Trump gets it at all. I don't think he's in control. I mean, they're making a fortune, the Trump family and everyone around them. I mean, they're kids. This is like they're building generational wealth, like unbelievable. But it is what it is. I hope you're doing okay. Let me know, Frederick. Good to see you. And anything you need, let me know. Um, but that's what we're thinking. That's where we are on this, and we continue to take our shots with the options and staying fairly active. And that's where we're at. We're gonna let everybody watch, though. Anything you need, you let me know. Yeah, you're very welcome, Frederick. Frederick, if you, in anticipation of the beta program, too, by the way, if you want to get eyes on this, you have an indicator from us called the Fairway Chart Marker, right? If you've never put it up. And you can set it to a daily, a weekly, but I'd set it on a daily. And you can put it on a chart. It'll give you the pivot information, the resistance and support information, and you can do it on any chart. You can do it on a time chart. You can do it with custom Rincos. You can do it with anything. And the idea, of course, is you kind of want to be buying maybe off of the green zone, selling off of the red zone. So if you look at it today, we were definitely up into the red zone, right? So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take that profit. But the beta program will actually be triggering trades off of that, and so we got to kind of shape it to give you a number of different options. Um, so we're still working on that, and that'll be a strategy tool in and of itself. It'll be in and of itself. That's what we want to get to everybody. However, there'll be more to come. So we'll also hopefully be able to use that tool if folks like it to begin to filter, use it as a filter to say, you know what, if I'm down between the S1 and S2, maybe with Swing Machine, I'm only going to take the things long. Or if I'm up around the R1 or R2, I'm only going to, take them south. That sort of thing, that sort of idea. But it also looks, if you haven't done this in a while, put it up on a chart. The chart that I'm using is the NQ on a custom Renko set at 12 and an offset of 3. And just get eyes on it off of these resistance and support area. Just see it. It's really pretty interesting. And that makes sense. We'll make a video of it though. When we send it out, we'll make a video and show everybody so we get we get a whole bunch of eyes on it, and then we'll go from there. Um, the that pivot information, that's not original code from us. It isn't, but the way we present it is unique, both on a chart and in a radar. That definitely is. But it's based on the what they call the pivot information of the previous day on a candle chart. And it's there's a number of ways to calculate it, but it's fairly popular with a whole slew of professional and maybe retail traders, but certainly with professional traders, they definitely have some eyes on that in a different a number of different formats. So that makes sense. Any issues there, you let me know. But we should have. My goal is by Sunday to be start at least have the video made and show everybody what we're looking at. Now we will, as we work with this thing together, we'll be making some modifications and brainstorming what we can do. I think it's going to be very impactful. But we're sitting now with that custom Rinko. Let me go there. I don't want to bring it up on screen because I'll mess up my thing, but let me pull it up. So we're right there. The R2 on that custom Rinko is on the NQ is 26205.92. And so I'm like looking at that and I'm like, wait a minute, we're pushing right up in there. Strategy put us in, and that's what made me, I'm saying, well, what, let's take that 1500, flatten out our account a little bit. We're just 1 point away. And if she comes back now, the R1 is at 2684, not that far away. And if she comes back through that, we're going to be on that trade. We are definitely going to be on that trade. Let me see what this thing thinks it's done for the week. Yeah, so I'm not that far off. The strategy for the week totally, they think, no, excuse me. Let me see. That was for the day. Yeah, she's not done that. The strategy thinks for the week that should be up 2,000, and we're not. We're down, and I know what that is. We had, I think it was on Monday morning. No, it was Sunday night. Sunday night we had a big gap up and a big move, and I had it running into the open, and we got some major slippage there. And I think that screwed up the performance tracker for the week, but everything else looks pretty good. Um, as far as accuracy goes, even though it's a custom wrinkle, it appears to be fairly accurate to us. So we'll see. We'll have it to you shortly. Have you tested the latest TradeStation? Saw that they have a new desktop. Yeah. Um, let's see. Yeah. Did you just have that? What happened to your question? I just saw it and then it went away. Maybe you deleted it. Um, I have not. Um, and I don't know if I'm going to rush to do it. Um, have you looked at it? I talked to some people. We had some issues with with Windows, the new Windows, and so I I think I alluded to that. So I was on the phone a week or two ago with TradeStation over cleaning that up. It wasn't a TradeStation issue; it was a Windows thing, Windows 11. So we got that cleaned up, and I got to do it with Susan's computer too. We weren't updating, so I got to get that cleared up, and then I probably will take a look at it. But yeah, I have not tested. Do you have a link to what you saw? Because I didn't even see it. But the person I was talking to had, I don't want to get him in trouble or anything, but he had kind of like mixed reviews about it. Mixed reviews. So, I haven't. If you get a link, let me know. Because I didn't even see it. I'm trying to remember what he said to me though, but it gave me a little bit of pause. I think he said too, if I understand him correctly, and again, I don't know because I haven't seen it, I haven't tested, I don't know. I think he said they were trying to make it like a little bit more web based, and it's not going. We're always going to have. He told me, assured me, we're always going to have this platform, but that it was more of a web based thing, and mm, send it can send it later. Yeah, it probably just be missing stuff because it is new and less stable as current. Well, yeah, exactly. And that's a case not unique to TradeStation or unique to anybody. You don't want to you don't want to be updating. You don't even want to take the updates every single day. Like be the first one to update every day, update, update, update. Because like with all of these things, even Microsoft, if they got a bug, they'll correct it. But if you're updating something as soon as an update comes out, then you might be the one reporting the bug, and I don't want to mess with it. Interactive Brokers also has a new desktop application that is missing a lot to the old one. Do you still have the old one? I hope so. For Interactive Brokers, did they still give you the old one? What they call the old one? I hope to goodness that TradeStation doesn't, screw the pooch on this. He assured me they're not. Not. You do. Okay. Yeah. He said, yeah. They might be trying to compete. They might be. You can still have the old. Yeah. See, they might be trying to compete with some of the other platforms that are like a little more like toy-like. Um, and it might be like plug and play this, plug in that, plug in this. We're here because of the capacity to write our own individual stuff. So certainly wouldn't want to lose that. And he assured me that they're sensitive to that, and that isn't going away. So any case, Yeah, send me whatever link you can when you can, and we'll have to take a peek at it for sure. So we're kind of jammed up here, folks. Until really the Fed, unless we get a little bit of a jailbreak, which we could. I did take a scalp for anyone that might be coming by, so I did take it. If we break the R1, now I don't have it playing the R2. I don't. I could, but if it breaks the R1, she'll on this custom Rinko, she'll short. She'll go short. And I'm running a trailer. I'm running a $1,000 trailer off this program. This thing here. Good afternoon, everyone. We're giving you a chance to watch, and been a very uneventful week with the Federal Reserve hanging over our head tomorrow. We'll know in short order. Um, we did intervene earlier to take a profit. Turns out to have been the right call. I haven't placed any other trades. We're letting the machine place them. Let me just give you or give us a peek. Yeah, so she seems to be backing away. The R2 is 20 on the Q is 26205.92, and she's backing away from that at the moment, right? So that's we probably left four or 500 bucks on the table when we did that, but that's okay. I didn't arm the R2 to take any other action, and we would have to come down in order for us to get short. We're going to have to come down and take out 26084.83, and I don't think that's going to happen today. It might happen tonight or early in the morning, but I doubt it. Reason being is we got the Fed tomorrow, and they don't like to do that. There's not a lot of sellers in front of this Fed. Don't fight the Fed, don't fight the Fed, that sort of nonsense. Historically speaking, I'm just going to say recent history, like the last 10, 15 years, has been not to fight the Fed, and they basically are, they want this market up for a wealth effect for animal spirits. So the run up into the week is usually a strong Monday. Usually it backs off a little bit on Tuesday. Then tomorrow morning we can have some backing and filling. I don't think we have a whole lot. Then usually the announcement. The announcement is expected to be 25 basis points. I think they're going to do that. They like to give the market what the market wants. They've been doing it for years now. So we might see a little sell-off and then a rally and then a little bit of a capitulation. This would be the normal course of events. And then on Thursday, Friday, then we really get to see what the market wants to do. We do have markers down that we have evidence of what we call a false high. And so I'm still thinking they're going to reject these highs. It could be a sell the news, and it could be this, right? So we're not forecasters, right? We're just saying this could be, on balance. We as traders, we got to be prepared to move left or right. And so this program that we're running will do just that. It adjusts every single day, and it will keep making adjustments. What is the R1 and the R2 and the pivot information for today is going to be different tomorrow. So that's what I mean. And it'll change at midnight, and it'll just it'll work it from there. We'll work it off. So for this week, we're running balance. We started at 40, a number of trades, not a ton, and we're down less than $1,000. I'm okay with that. Today we made a little back, and we'll see where we are at the end of the week. We'll keep you posted. Okay, I'm Bagadon. This is Stock Market Caddy. We are mechanical algorithmic traders. We're not trying to pick the high. We're not trying to pick the low. We're not trying to, fill your heads with a story about economic mumbo jumbo. I'm happy to have those conversations. I like economics. Well, not really, but I like the conversation around them. I think it's a pseudoscience. I don't think it's a real science. Biology is a real science. Math is a real science. Economics, I think, is a pseudoscience. So, but I don't mind having those conversations around it if you chose to. But we just don't buy or sell based on a pseudoscience. So not here, not Susan and me. And but you're welcome to do whatever you want to do. If you want to learn to trade mechanically and algorithmically and get away from the emotions of fear and greed and get away from those brokers and brokers, with at least a portion of your money, reach out. We're a mentorship. We offer mentorship and programs to go along with it, but it isn't an apprenticeship. It isn't, right? So there is a little bit of a difference, a little bit. And for those that want to learn to trade their game, right? If you're looking for a tip sheet, someone to feed you trades day in and day out, these programs will do it. You can set them up to do it and customize them. You certainly can do that. But if you're looking for me to do that for you, that's not who we are, right? Make sense? All right. Well, she is, yeah, she's selling down. Let's see. Yeah, the last 10, 15 minutes. I don't think we can get that trade in. We're going to let you watch right up until about 4:15 or so, and then we'll have to rest the machines, let them cool off, hose them down, and then we'll be back to do it again. I'm not sure when we can punch up again next, but if you push the like button, one, it helps us, and two, if you push the notification button, it'll help you know when we punch back up. If you want these tools, if you want to see what these tools are showing, our last daily signal on our Nicholas is up like, I don't know, 25, 30 grand since the signal, and a daily signal. And if you want these tools on your desktop, though, to trade intraday and be real active, then you want to inquire and focus on becoming an annual member. And feel free to reach out about that. Okay. All right. So we're going to let you watch, and I'll say thank you for stopping by. And at about 4:15, 4:16 or so thereabouts, this broadcast will automatically close. And but you're welcome to call any day, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 813-758-8263. We don't have hundreds of thousands of followers or members. That's totally fine. We never going to do that. But we do have members in all parts of the world. Canada, the United States, of course, Germany, Belgium, Norway, Japan, all over. Australia, Hungary. Trying to think of the other countries. I'm sure I'm leaving some out. Um, and it's a beautiful thing. The world is getting so small. Have fun, everybody. We'll be nearby. Okay, I hope some of you maybe got a piece of that, coming off of that R2. And we didn't take it. We did some things with some options, as we alluded to, but the machine has got some strict guidelines that it's looking for, and maybe we get it tonight. Maybe we get the trade in. We'll keep you posted. All right. And so at this point, we're probably gonna sign off now. I just want to say thank you for stopping by. Sorry we've been out of pocket the last couple of days. Pretty busy. And I hope you're getting it done with whatever it is you're doing. If you are, keep doing it. If you're not, know that there are folks that are trading these markets very, very successfully, day in, day out. And many of those are our members. And we're happy to try to help you if we can. And so don't hesitate, right? And this isn't our only product, right? Swing Machine Plus is central to what we do. It is. We keep a view up, but we do a lot of other things, and we got a lot of other tools. In fact, we just completed sending out to one of our newest members, kind of a renewal member actually, and at last count, I think we're close to like 67 or 68 proprietary files. There'll be more, that's for sure. We just keep adding value while holding your cost. Kind of a unique proposition. Not many other people do that in this world, but we do. Thank you. We wish you the best. Reach out anytime, folks.